Every second, the world changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the global pulse. Accurate, reliable, right when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
Need advert placements, coverage for events, or the latest news stories? Call 070-3043-7110 right now. Aneke TV, move with the world.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Sports Wrap here on Aneke TV. I am your one and only sports oracle, bringing you the best of what happened in the world of sports all over the world, globally and locally, also around the state, around the country, and also around the localities. And that's what I do best in this time of the day. I hope you had a good night, and I hope you had a wonderful time. Thank you for joining us. And this morning we have to kick off the sports show by bringing you what is it, how it is today in the newspaper sport headline, what we are looking up to having and how it has been. And that is what we are seeing. Firstly, you see that Ademola Lookman has joined Atletico Madrid. That is something that has been coming up over the days. We have been expecting that to happen, and right now, so we're going to see it on the newspaper headline, what it looks like, and that is something I wanted to see. Let's see the newspaper headline. All right, looking at the newspaper headline, you'll see that Lookman ready for Barca Madrid challenge. Lookman he went from Atlanta to Atletico Madrid, and that is where he got himself into right now, where he's going to be playing an amazing football. And you see that in the newspaper that he is ready for Barca Madrid challenge. He is ready to play in the La Liga. He is ready to play and defend his game. He is ready to make a mark, and he is ready to have something going on in the place. And I'm telling you for a fact that he is someone who has seen it all in the Italian side. From he moved from Atlanta to where he is right now. Now, still in the newspaper headline, we're seeing that there's a news around Rodri. Rodri faces a ban after referee rant. You see, this happened just on Sunday night while they played Tottenham, and it wasn't a good sight. Of course, there was a lot of protest, basically because of the issues that came and how it was. This Rodri guy had to, protest. He had to protest and rant on the referee. And you know what it is that when you are playing or when you are having a good time of your life, especially in the world of football, you are not meant to, touch the. There's people who are specific you should not touch. You should not touch the goalkeeper. You should also not touch the referee. In fact, when it comes to the referee and the goalkeeper, you should actually know that you have to make some remarks. You have to just keep yourself on the low. And when it comes to goalkeeper, you don't have to rush to the goalkeeper to tackle him or do him something. You must respect these two guys. And now, still in the newspaper headline, we are still talking about what is happening, and we are looking at Chukwueze. Silva has said that Chukwueze has shown quality. This is what he said just yesterday as Chukwueze's side, Fulham, as they faced Manchester United on Sunday, while they collected 3 goals and they had 2 goals. Of course, there's a lot of things that happened in the match. We could see how the midfield of Manchester United was downgraded because they were not able to take what it is. They were not able to, coordinate themselves. They were not able to put themselves together. That was what happened on that day. So as Casemiro was subbed off, Ugarte was subbed in, and the midfield had to concede goals. Of course, there's this talk that you should. I'm talking to Michael Carrick right now. You should always keep Casemiro. Let's find someone who is more formidable as Casemiro would, so that we can have a wonderful time and we can have a wonderful time in the midfield. Of course, Chukwueze played a lot of good game that day. I really saw the game. It was something that I will tell you that it wasn't what everyone expected, because Chukwueze wanted to dribble a lot, but he was not able to dribble. And now you can see that he is having a praise from his coach since he came back from AFCON. And also, you know that last week Chukwueze lost his mom. He lost his mom, and it has been not a wonderful time. Of course, it has been a mournful period for him, and he had to bear this. I was even expecting that maybe if he had scored, you know how these things have, he would have just paid a tribute to his mom, just try to do something special to make the woman, wherever she is, to remember or to have a sight that his son really, really, her son really, really loves her. Of course, that is how it has been. Now, still in the news, you see that Joshua steps out for son's game after car crash. This is Anthony Joshua. He has stepped out after that crash. After of course, he had to recover. He had to get better and move on. We are still seeing on what is happening in the world of sports. We have a downside of it. Nigeria intensified training for Uzbekistan Davis Cup tie. And looking at the other side, we have Rashford's United return unlikely. And I'm going to give you Bellingham to mix his games out of injury. So I'm going to give you some of this while we look into what it is going to be. Well, today, still in the world of football, there are fixtures that are coming. You will see just at the end of the newspaper, just by the side of the newspaper, you will see today's fixtures in the English Football League Cup. That's a Carabao Cup. Arsenal is going to play against Chelsea, and Copa del Rey, Albacete are going to play against Barcelona, and DFB Cup, Bayern Leverkusen is going to play against Saint Pauli. Coupe de France, Reims, they're going to play against Le Mans, and Marseille, they're going to play against Rennes, and they're home. Then KNVB Becker Cup, you will see AZ versus FC20, and you also see in Serie A, we're going to have Bologna versus AC Milan, and we want to move immediately to the Davis Cup tie, how it is happening and how it has been happening, what we are expecting, what we have been looking up to see in the Davis Cup tie that is coming up just in a neck of time. And that is the news I'm bringing to you, that the camp has shifted. I mean, Nigeria's camp against Uzbek, they're going to play the cup tie. They have shifted from the place where they are to the next camp where they are expected to be. And this happened just a few days ago, as they have been expecting to feature basically in the success of the game. We are talking about they have stepped up their preparations for the Davis World Cup 2 against Uzbekistan by relocating their training camp, like I've told you, from the National Stadium to the Lagos Lawn Tennis Club, Onikan. The venue for the February 7 to 8 encounter will be is actually where they have moved, so that they can train and get together what they are doing now in the Davis Cup. You know that the world's premier international men's table tennis competition, organized by International Table Tennis Federation, is structured across multiple tiers, which World Group 2, representing a highly competitive level where nations battle for promotion to World Group 1. You know, this is how it happens in the lawn tennis. And also, Nigeria's opponent, Uzbekistan, they have also arrived in Lagos on Monday, and their first on-court training session was yesterday. That's on Monday. And you know that the Uzbek delegation, they arrived with 3 players only and 4 officials, while their key player, Kumuyon Sultanov, fresh from winning the ITF M15 tournament in Kuwait, was expected to join the team on Monday. He is actually one of their best players. And then the 27-year-old reached the second round of the Australian Open qualifiers in 2025 and attained a career high ATP ranking of 216 in January. He is joined in the squad by Ilya Ignatov, Abdulaziz Usmonojov, and 70-year-old Sukrop Saudipov. And Nigeria's number one male player, Daniel Adeleye, leads the home team against Uzbeks, with Kanis Abua and Michael Emmanuel also included based on national rankings. You know that Uche Oparoji returns to the squad while Abubakar Yusuf ends his uh, debut on the Davis Cup, and having previously represented Nigeria at the African Games in Ghana. We're still talking about the Davis Cup. The Nigerian team has been in camp since Wednesday, January 21st, initially training at the National Stadium before moving to the match venue. You know that the Lagos tie will be contested over 2 days and will compromise uh, 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 um, 5 robbers. This is not just in a compromise because they are trying to, organize themselves, but they will put themselves together from the place where they have been, and they are gonna come. It's gonna put together 5 robbers, 4 single matches, and 1 doubles encounter. They are ranked 74 in the world currently. And Nigeria will be hoping to upset Uzbekistan, who are ranked 49. Of course, Uzbekistan, these guys actually, they know how to do this, and you see where they are ranked. And we're still talking about that. When both nations clash on the center court of the lawn tennis club this weekend, we're looking at them clashing on the center of the court on the lawn tennis, and it's going to be something. Well, you know that the president of the Nigeria Tennis Federation, Victor Che, described the hosting rights as a significant statement of Nigeria's growing stature in international tennis. The hosting opportunity reflects Nigeria's steady rise in global tennis, consistent performances in recent years. Well, this is how it has actually been, and this is how we have been seeing it in the Davis Cup tie. And I'm telling you that there is nothing much you can look at, because it's looking like there is a lot of issues that we need to just put in. And you know that Nigeria themselves, as a part of what is happening, we are not just into football, we are not just into table tennis, we're also into lawn tennis, and we are making our mark. Like we are going to see just at the neck of time. This weekend. From this weekend, we're going to see what it is. And moving on from Davis Cup, I am going to tell you that this Davis Cup would not be just a game you will need to miss. I just need to make the announcement before I move on. But then we have to just, I have to tell you, you have to keep up with the time and the days. I'm going to bring it to you your way as we face other things and in other climes and as it is. All right, moving on from that, we have a news that Ademola Lookman, you saw it when I show you the newspaper, that Ademola Lookman, he has made a record signing to Atletico Madrid. Just he has completed the signing. He completed his medicals yesterday, and now he is a full-blown Atletico Madrid player. He went to Atletico Madrid after the rumors from Galatasaray and. For the batch after the Turkish sides have been looking forward to registering the Nigerian forward to bring him into their team, but it was not possible. Of course, Ademola Lookman will flourish in this team, in the Spanish side, as he prepares to play against Barcelona, and also as he prepares to play against the likes of Real Madrid, as he prepares to, feature in the best of what is happening in La Liga. And also in the same La Liga, you would see that Jude Bellingham, he has been ruled out for 5 matches, 5 to 6 matches, because of the injury he had to, sustain while playing the match they played Rayo against Rayo Vallecano on Sunday, where they had a 2-1 goal victory, while Mbappe had to score that goal. Still, that Mbappe goes by penalty, is still making rounds on the internet because it was as if it was just awarded like an award. It was given like an award plaque. But we are seeing that Mbappe has been so amazing this season, and he has made a lot of mark. By tomorrow or before the week runs out, I'm going to bring you Mbappe in details. That's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to bring you Mbappe in details. And that's one of the additions we're going to have in this world of sports. Congratulations to Adumila Lukman, and congratulations to the Nigerian forward who has made it to the La Liga side. We are expecting him to play. Just like yesterday, Mr. J asked if he would succeed. Okay, of course, he was talking about Osimhen, but there was this news also if Nigerians will actually succeed when they go to the new places where they are going to play. Talking about Victor Osimhen too, reaching his 200 goal mark, and if he would be up to having something in the Ballon d'Or, if he would be going for Ballon, well, of course he would. Basically, if things are done right, and if Nigerians, if there would be that opportunity which will be provided, which we'll see. Of course, Victor Osimhen is not just a player; he is a sensational player. He is one of the best forward in the world. You know that, and we're expecting things to really move to the right direction in the coming days as he has made his 200 goal, 200 career goal, of course, and scoring 51 for club, I mean for Galatasaray, and also scoring some of the other goals for the country. Now, still in sport and in the world of football, we're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo right now. Cristiano Ronaldo has said that he would not play. He actually would not have said a lot of things, but you know that when people start reacting or acting, you know what it is leading to, and that is something that you need to understand. Cristiano Ronaldo would not play their games or would not play in the game. He was not seen in the lineup because he was angry. Reports say that he was angry against the way the club has refused to reinforce the team, how they have not had new signings. Of course, you know that still in the same light we are talking about. I wish we could keep Cristiano Ronaldo here and keep Karim Benzema at the other side, because Karim Benzema has joined Al Ittihad. He went from Al Ittihad and he has gone to Al Hilal. I'm talking about Karim Benzema, the Ballon d'Or winner who won it with Real Madrid, who left Real Madrid just a few years ago to play in the Saudi Pro League. He has gone from Al Ittihad because it did not really work well with the team. They were offering him, according to him, it was ridiculous, because how would you offer him a contract that is actually that will make him to play on a free, he would be a free agent by the end of the season, but they are already offering him a contract making him a free agent already. That means they would not pay him, and also it will not, his image rights would not be, if there's a need for him to do one or two things for the club. And you know that one of the things that how players aim from clubs is the image right. When players advertise, when players showcase a product that the club is going into, when players showcase a brand that the club will be partnering with, that image right, of course it will come in pictures, and it will come most times in videos, sometimes in videos, of course. So that is what he protested, and next thing he is switching to Al Hilal, where he will be playing for the rest of the season. Cristiano Ronaldo, on the other hand, he's not happy, and he has decided to boycott his playing for now. Not that he's going to do this out of the season. He wants his Al Nassr side to do something about what is really happening, and he doesn't want something that will happen at the end of the day that he will now be looking for what it is going to be. He really wants to do something. He wants to do something, and that is what we're going to see. That is how it is going to be. Well, I'm still on the range of sport, and we are talking about football right now, but now we're talking about football administration. What is really happening in the world of football administration? And now this news is coming to you from the Nigeria's MPFL, and it is going straight into Enyimba Football Club of Aba. Enyimba Football Club of Aba have now have a new sporting director, and the sporting director was appointed by the governor. But OK Kanu announced him just a few hours ago, maybe just in 24 hours, where he will be taking role as the administrator who will be helping the team to direct their football, to direct what they are going to, and to direct the way they train. You know what sporting directors do? They actually will put the team in order and bring in what they need to bring in. Of course, you know that they are in charge of the business side of the team, and they are in charge of the business side of the club. We're talking about Abia State Governor Oleg Soti has made, and he has approved the appointment of Mr. Daniel Eke, well, as the new sporting director of Inimba International Football Club of Aba. Well, the appointment was announced in a statement issued by the State Commissioner for Information, Okwekano, like I've said, who said the move aligns with the state government's resolve to restore Inimba FC to its rightful place among Africa's elite football clubs. Kanu said the decision is part of efforts to reposition the club for sustainable growth while strengthening its business, professional, and administrative structures. He also disclosed that the former sporting director, Mr. Ifeanyi Ekwueme, has resigned. Well, you know that according to the statement, Eke is a product of Enyimba FC's feeder team and has built an impressive career in football management and player development. Over the years, he said, he has served in several technical and managerial capacities across top Nigerian clubs. The statement has read. It added that his professional excellence has earned him notable recognitions, including most successful football agent in Africa as of 2020, yes, most successful football agent in Nigeria, same in 2020, and highest goal scorer manager. I'm talking about Chijioke Akenato by 2020. These are the people he has managed. Then also in the statement, there is a further note that Eke has consistently demonstrated strong capacity in strategic career planning, helping players progress from lower leagues to top flight football, building a solid pool of professional and international players, and successfully transitioning academy players into professional contracts. You know that the Abia State government is confident that his experience, he said, industry network, and technical competence will play a pivotal role in repositioning Enyimba as a competitive, professionally run, and globally respected football institution. Clarifying leadership roles within the club, Kano, the spokesperson of Abia State government, he said that for the avoidance of doubt, the general public is hereby informed that Mr. Uche is duly appointed and sworn-in member of the Enimba FC board, while Mr. Daniel Eke is newly appointed sporting director of Enimba International Football Club, Aba. He expressed concern over club's declining competitive status, noting that Enyimba, Nigeria's most decorated football club, has struggled to replicate its history successes in recent time. And this is how he and what he has actually said. And we're looking forward to having this coming to pass. Of course, you know that there are many things that we're expecting these guys to really do something immediately. They need to do something immediately. And we are looking up to Enyimba to go back to how they used to be, how they used to play. I used to hear about the Nimba when I was growing up, and I really love the Nimba. Of course, I love Rangers too, and I love all the Nigerian Professional Football League as the sports oracle. I grew up hearing these names, and I'm so excited. Now, in the final news of this morning's sports wrap, I am bringing you that Liverpool are making efforts. They have been putting in the efforts to reinforce their defense. You know that Virgil van Dijk, the foremost defender, and Konate, they are having their contract expiring just at the end of the season, and I'm not sure they're going to renew. So they are bringing in new and fresh legs who are going to continue from where these guys stopped, and we are going to see what will happen at the end of the day. Of course, I'm going to bring you what it is and how it's going to be in the world of sports and in the world of transparency, especially from Liverpool. Then also just in a neck of time, I want to report to you that Raul Jimenez from Fulham has tallied the same penalty taking record, same as Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure, you know that he played for Manchester City and he was one of the Manchester City best midfielder of all time. He never took any wrong penalty, and I'm talking about Yaya Toure, and I'm also talking about Raul Jimenez. They have tallied. Raul Jimenez has played 12 penalties and has scored 12 of the penalties, and the last penalty he scored was against Manchester United on Sunday, while Harry Maguire fouled their player, and he had to take it from the spot to registered the goal and making it 2-1 as they replied, and Manchester United had to reply just at the end, almost at the end of the game. Of course, you know that this is how it is, and we are going to look at what is going to happen in the coming days and in the world of sports. Well, I am excited to tell you that this is all we have, and not just all we have, but because of time we have to switch on to something else. And I hope you enjoyed this time here on Aneke TV Sports. See you same time, same station tomorrow morning as we delve into insights of what is happening. I'm going to bring you that Mbappe story and also other stories across the world of sports. I am your one and only sports oracle. Thank you for doing this with me this morning. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
To be a man is not to be hard, but to be whole. A true man feels, weeps, protects, dreams. He does not hide behind silence. He speaks with strength and softness. He carries responsibility, yes, but also joy. He provides, but he also hugs. He's not just a builder of homes, but a nurturer of hearts. A man is not less when he leans on others. He is more when he uplifts them. In truth, in tenderness, in integrity, that's where manhood truly begins.
In a world that never stands still, where stories break in seconds and moments shape history, one station keeps you connected to your nation, to the continent, to the world.
From breaking news to powerful stories, from business and politics to culture, lifestyle and entertainment, we inform, we inspire, we keep you ahead.
This is more than television. This is your window to everywhere that matters.
Aneke TV. Move with the world.
The soul is part of us that survives every storm. You can't see it, but you can feel it in silence, in longing, in every heartbeat that keeps going. It asks for more than food and fame. It hungers for meaning, for stillness, for the divine. The soul is where music is born, where peace begins, where truth hides. To care for your soul is the greatest act of self-love. For in the end, what we were fades, but what we are at our core remains.
Dedication is doing your best, even when no one is watching. It is the quiet force behind every masterpiece and every breakthrough. With consistency and focus, you don't just chase excellence, you become it. Stay dedicated, the results will speak.
Good morning and welcome to News Around the Globe on Aneke TV, your trusted window to the major developments across Nigeria and the global community. I'm Deborah Wakaba. Glad to have you join us. Moving over to the headlines, South African authorities disconnect power supply to Nigeria High Commission over unpaid bills. Ebonyi State Governor sponsors 98 indigents to British universities on scholarship. And on the foreign scene, calls grow for Uganda's suspension following post-election violence. And on business, European diplomats advocate expanded trade relations with Nigeria. And in entertainment, U.S. President Donald Trump threatens legal action over Trevor Noah's Epstein remark. Lagos State government issues legal warning against use of children in viral online content. And now the news in details. Nigeria's High Commission in Pretoria experienced a temporary power shutdown after the city of the action underscores the city's determination to enforce compliance regardless of status. The Nigerian mission has not issued an official comment on the lapse. Operations at the High Commission have since returned to normal following the swift resolution of the payment. The United States Department of Homeland Security has announced plans to deport 79 Nigerian nationals listed among a worst of the worst criminal offenders. Officials' records reveal that the individuals were convicted of offenses including fraud, drug trafficking, assault, manslaughter, and robbery. The moves forms part of broader enforcement action targeting criminal and undocumented immigrants within the United States. The department emphasized the priority of removing individuals who pose public safety threats. The policy has affected multiple foreign nationals, including Nigerians, as the U.S. continues to implement stricter immigration enforcement protocols under the current administration. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has rescued 17 human trafficking victims and arrested 4 suspects in a raid on a hotel in Onitsha, Anambra State. The operation was conducted with military support at a notable commercial area hotel. The agency also apprehended 2 additional suspects linked to interstate baby trafficking networks. 4 of the rescued victims tested positive for HIV and are receiving medical care and counseling. NAPTIP confirmed the suspects are in custody as investigations continue. The agency reaffirmed its commitment to dismantling trafficking rings and protecting vulnerable persons. President Bola Tinubu has commended the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, for its contribution to Nigeria's economic transformation, citing its rise in global academic rankings. Speaking at the institution's 33 convocation, he highlighted its role in advancing food security and research excellence. The university is currently ranked as Africa's top agriculture university and 7th worldwide in its field, reflecting growth in research capacity and innovation. The president underscores the importance of academic institutions in confronting climate change, population growth, and economic challenges. Graduates were all to apply their training in areas like hydroponics and digital livestock management to strengthen national food systems and foster job creation across the economy. The Nigerian Immigration Service (NIS) has launched a strengthened campaign against cross-border crime with upgraded technology and a reinforced legal framework. At the inaugural NIS Law Week in Abuja, Comptroller General Kemi Nandab outlined plans to modernize operations while ensuring accountability under the law. Upgrades include enhancements to the migration information and data analysis system and installation of e-gates at international airports. The leadership noted that digital tools must be supported by legal safeguards to effectively combat cyber-enabled smuggling and trafficking. The Director of Legal Services stated that the unit's expanded role in ensuring legal compliance for all technological innovators, reinforcing public trust in broader management and security operations. Former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami has filed an application at the Federal High Court in Abuja to set aside an interim forfeiture order on properties linked to his family. The asset valued at approximately 213.23 billion naira was seized by the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. The list includes luxury hotels and high-value real estate across several states, which the EFCC says are proceeds of unlawful activities. Malami's legal team is challenging the seizure as part of ongoing litigation. Malami and family members are also facing a separate 16-count money laundering trial. The court is scheduled to hear full arguments on the forfeiture application ahead of the main case. Governor Francis Wifuru of Ebonyi State has inaugurated the second batch of overseas scholarship beneficiaries, sending 98 scholars to the United Kingdom for postgraduate studies. The program covers tuition accommodation and living allowances. The initiative aims to build human capital and enhance local development through international education. Earlier cohorts have already graduated with distinctions, demonstrating the scheme's impact. Governor Wifuru called on the new scholars to excel and return to contribute to the state's progress, reinforcing the administration's commitment to expanding education opportunities. Delta State Governor Sharif Oborevori has emphasized the role of technical and vocational education in addressing unemployment. At the inauguration of Model Technical College in Omadino Wari South, he described the facility as a strategic investment without external borrowing. The college is equipped with modern workshops and laboratories, and academic activities have already commenced. Mr. Oborevori said the training will produce skilled entrepreneurs and professionals for the industrial sector. He urged community stakeholders to protect the infrastructure, stressing that they represent taxpayer value and long-term resource for youth empowerment. Taraba State Governor Abu Kefas has approved the release of 5 billion naira to clear outstanding gratuities and debt benefits owed to senior citizens and retired civil servants. The state's Ministry of Finance has begun a screening process to ensure transparent and accurate disbursement. The payment focuses first on retirees from 2015 while also addressing remaining beneficiaries from earlier years. The move is intended to restore confidence in the state's pension system. Labour leaders and pensioners welcome the development, urging the government to sustain timely benefits administration in the future. News around the globe is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can stay connected with us on social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now here's a quick recap of the major stories making the news. Power disconnected at Nigeria High Commission in South Africa over unpaid bills. Ebonyi Governor awards overseas scholarship to 98 students. And coming up shortly on the foreign scene, growing calls for Uganda's suspension after post-election crisis. And on business, European diplomats seek stronger trade ties with Nigeria. And in entertainment, President Trump threatens lawsuits over Trevor Noah's joke. Lagos State warns against featuring children in viral online content. We'll be right back.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose ox is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices. Uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on The Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
Still on the news, Uganda is facing mounting international pressure after London-based law firm Amsterdam and Partners LLP petitioned the Commonwealth to suspend the country over alleged human rights violation linked to the January 15 general elections. In a submission to the Commonwealth Secretariat, the firm accused Ugandan authorities of mass arrest, excessive use of force against civilians, and suppression of opposition activities, arguing that this action breached the Commonwealth Charter. The petition also raised concerns about the safety of opposition leader Bobby Wine, whose residence is reportedly under heavy military guard. The legal team alleged that senior security officials issued public threats against him and that security forces carried out a raid on his home, during which his family was mistreated and access to basic supplies restricted. The firm is calling for an international fact-finding mission and targeted sanctions, as well as referral of Uganda to the Commonwealth Ministerial Action Group. Human rights advocates warned that failure to act decisively could undermine democratic accountability in the region. Augusto Blanco-Mila, a former Peruvian foreign minister who had been wanted in connection with an international fraud case, has died in a Brazilian prison hospital at the age of 80. Brazilian prison authorities confirmed he passed away on January 23rd at the Hamilton Augusto Penal Hospital in Rio de Janeiro, citing cardiorespiratory arrest. Miller served during the 1990s under former President Alberto Fujimori, but later became the subject of legal proceedings abroad. He had been on the run following a conviction in an Albanian court, which led to an Interpol red notice and his eventual arrest by Brazilian Federal Police in December. His death ends prospects of further extradition or legal action. Authorities describe the case as medically concluded, drawing a close to a long-running international legal saga. The United Kingdom has imposed a new round of sanctions on senior Iranian officials and a key state security body over alleged human rights abuses. British Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper announced British Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper announced measures targeting 10 individuals, including police commanders, judicial figures, and members of the Revolutionary Guard. The UK also designated Iran's law enforcement forces, accusing the agency of playing a central role in suppressing recent protests through excessive force and restrictions on civil liberties. Those sanctions face asset freezes, travel bans, and restrictions on business activities in the UK. British authorities say the move aligns with similar steps taken by the United States and European partners. Despite the sanctions, diplomatic channels remain open amid ongoing discussions over Iran's nuclear program. Pakistani security forces have intensified operations in Balochistan province following coordinated attacks that killed at least 17 security personnel and 31 civilians. The Baloch Liberation Army claimed responsibility for the assaults on public facilities, including schools and banks. In response, the military says it has neutralized more than 170 militants during a three-day counteroffensive. Authorities have imposed lockdowns and security restrictions in Quetta as efforts continue to track down suspected insurgents. The United States and India have finalized a major trade agreement aimed at expanding economic cooperation between both countries. Under the deal, Washington is reducing tariffs on India exports, while New Delhi has pledged to increase imports of American energy, agricultural products, and technology. India has also committed to reviewing certain trade barriers and diversifying its energy sources. Officials say the agreement is designed to stabilize supply chains and strengthen strategic ties between the two democracies. Financial markets reacted positively with gains recorded in companies linked to cross-border trade. Both governments described the pact as a significant step toward deeper long-term economic partnership. The European Union has rejected Iran's decision to label the armed forces of EU member states as terrorist organizations. The move by Tehran followed the EU's recent designation of Iran's Islamic Revolution, Guard Corps as tourist entity. European Commission spokesperson Anwar El Anoni dismissed the Iranian action, stating that bloc does not accept the classification or related accusations. EU officials maintained the IRGC listing was based on concerns over its role in internal repression. Despite the diplomatic tension, European leaders say they intend to keep communications channels open. Talks on regional security and other issues are expected to continue. Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen has warned that renewed U.S. interest in the Arctic island remains a serious political concern. Addressing Parliament, he said internal pressure over Greenland's strategic value challenges Danish sovereignty and local self-determination. Nielsen noted growing anxiety among residents, prompting the government to launch a mental health assessment to address stress linked to geopolitical uncertainty. He emphasized that Greenland's future must be decided by its people. Diplomatic discussions are ongoing among the United States, Denmark, and Greenland. Authorities in Copenhagen say they aim to manage security cooperation without compromising territorial integrity. And now to business news. European diplomats have urged Nigeria to translate investment potential into concrete projects by improving its regulatory environment. Speaking at the Eurochem conference in Lagos, envoys highlighted concerns over tax uncertainty, foreign exchange instability, and bureaucratic delays. They noted that sectors such as energy, agriculture, and manufacturing offer strong opportunities if policy consistency improves. Investors also called for better infrastructure and simplified visa processes to support business operations. Stakeholders emphasized the need for collaboration between development banks and private investors to reduce risk. They say Nigeria can benefit from global supply chain diversification if reforms are sustained. The Central Bank of Nigeria has released its first comprehensive fintech report outlining strategies to balance innovation with financial stability. The document positions fintech firms as key partners in expanding access to digital financial services. According to the report, transaction volumes on the NIBSS instant payment platform have grown significantly in recent years, reflecting rapid adoption of digital payments. However, the CBN identified regulatory overlap and high compliance costs as key challenges. The Apex Bank proposes streamlined regulations, improved consumer protection, and stronger data sharing frameworks. Officials say the goal is to ensure sustainable and inclusive growth in Nigeria's fintech sector. The Enugu state government has launched an equipment support program for small businesses under its MSME development strategy. The initiative provides tools and machinery to help entrepreneurs expand production and improve competitiveness. Governor Peter Mbah said the program is designed to drive grassroots economic growth and job creation. He emphasized that strengthening local enterprises is key to long-term prosperity. The Enugu SME Center is overseeing distribution to priority sectors. Officials say the intervention forms part of broader efforts to position the state as a hub for enterprise and innovation. Spanish club Atletico Madrid has completed the signing of Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman on a long-term deal. The 28-year-old joined from Italian side Atlanta after a successful spell in Serie A. Lookman gained international recognition after playing a key role in Atlanta's European success and has consistently delivered goals and assists. Club officials say his versatility and pace will strengthen Atletico's attacking options. The Nigerian international has previously featured in the English Premier League and Bundesliga. Fans are hopeful he will make an immediate impact in domestic and European competitions. Leicester City have signed Nigerian midfielder Joe Aribo on loan from Southampton until the end of the season. The club confirmed the move after the player completed his medical. Aribo brings experience from both the Premier League and Scottish football, where he won major honours with Rangers. He has also been a regular for the Nigerian national team. Club officials say his versatility and experience will add depth to the squad as Leicester push for a strong finish to the campaign. And now in entertainment, U.S. President Donald Trump has criticized comments made by comedian Trevor Noah during the Grammys Awards ceremony. Noah made a joke referencing the president during the live broadcast, prompting a strong response on social media. President Trump denied the implication and described the remarks as false and defamatory. He indicated that legal options were being considered. The incident has sparked debate about political satire and free speech in entertainment. Organizers have not issued further comments. Still on entertainment, the Lagos state government has warned content creators against involving children in harmful or inappropriate social media production. Authorities say some online trends violate child protection laws. In a joint statement, the Ministry of Youth and Social Development and the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency stressed that exploiting minors for online content is a criminal offense. Offenders risk prosecution under state laws. The government urged digital creators to adopt responsible practices and protect children's dignity and well-being while promoting safe and positive storytelling. And finally, before we go on news around the globe, here's a recap of our top stories. South African authorities have disconnected electricity supply to the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria over alleged unpaid utility bills. The development has drawn diplomatic attention, with officials expected to engage South African counterparts to resolve the issue and prevent disruption to consular and diplomatic services. Governor Francis Wifuru of Ebonyi State has approved overseas scholarship for 98 indigents to pursue higher education in various British universities. The state government says the initiative is part of efforts to strengthen human capital development and equip young people with skills that will contribute to Ebonyi's long-term growth. And on the foreign scene, international voices are calling for Uganda's suspension from certain regional and global bodies following reports of violence and alleged human rights violation linked to the country's recent post-election unrest. Diplomatic observers say discussions are ongoing within multilateral institutions. And in business, European diplomats have expressed interest in deepening trade relations with Nigeria, highlighting opportunities in energy, agriculture, technology, and infrastructure. The talks are aimed at boosting investment flows and expanding economic cooperation between Nigeria and European markets. And in entertainment, United States President Donald Trump has threatened legal action over joke referencing Jeffrey Epstein made by comedian Trevor Noah. The remark delivered during a recent public appearance has sparked debate over satire, free speech, and reputational content. Meanwhile, the Lagos state government has issued a legal warning to content creators and parents over the growing trend of featuring children in viral online videos. Authorities say the move is to safeguard digital content involving minors complies with existing child protection laws. And that's news around the globe on Aneke TV. For more news and live updates, follow us across all social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I am Deborah Wakoba. Thank you for watching.
In functional democracies and competitive economies, meritocracy is not a slogan, it is a system. A system where competence determines opportunity, performance drives advancement, and leadership is earned, not inherited or imposed. In Nigeria, however, the persistent triumph of mediocrity over merit continues to shape recruitment processes, elective positions, and leadership outcomes across critical sectors of national life. From public service employment to political office, from academia to corporate governance, troubling pattern has emerged. Access often trumps ability, loyalty outweighs competence, and short-term political calculations override long-term national interests. In the public sector, recruitment exercises are officially designed to be competitive, involving written examinations, interviews, and eligibility screening. Yet, multiple surveys and independent audits have consistently shown that informal influence, patronage networks, and bribery remain significant determinants of who gets hired. This reality has produced ministries, departments, and agencies burdened with underqualified personnel struggling to deliver on complex policy mandates in a rapidly evolving global environment. The consequences are not abstract. They manifest in delayed project execution, weak policy implementation, inefficient service delivery, and ballooning recurrent expenditure with minimal value creation. When institutions are staffed without regard for skill or capacity, governance becomes reactive rather than strategic. The problem is not limited to recruitment alone. Nigeria's elective political system reflects the same crisis of merit. In many cases, candidates emerge not through rigorous debate, policy clarity, or intellectual depth, but through financial muscle, political godfathers, or ethnic calculations. Electoral outcomes frequently reward popularity, patronage of vote buying over competence and vision. The result is a leadership deficit that cuts across local government councils, state assemblies, governorships, and even the national legislature, institutions constitutionally taxed with lawmaking, oversight, and representation, yet often lacking the technical depths required to interrogate budgets, scrutinize policies, or design forward-looking legislation. Other sectors tell a similar story. In education, the erosion of merit in academic appointment has weakened research quality and global competitiveness. In some tertiary institutions, promotions and leadership roles are influenced more by internal politics than scholarly output. In the corporate space, family ties and informal networks sometimes override professional management principles, limiting innovation and sustainability. Ironically, Nigeria continues to produce world-class professionals who excel in merit-driven systems abroad, from medicine and engineering to technology, finance, and academia. Their success outside the country reinforces a painful truth. The problem is not Nigerian capacity or Nigerian systems. Countries that have achieved rapid development offer contrasting examples. Singapore, Rwanda, and South Korea institutionalize meritocracy through transparent recruitment, performance-based promotion, and zero tolerance for patronage. Leadership selection in these systems prioritize competence, integrity, and accountability, even when politically inconvenient. Back home, the cost of failing to do the same is increasingly evident. Brain drain has accelerated as skilled Nigerians seek environments where effort is rewarded fairly. Public trust in institutions has declined, and citizens grow more cynical about processes they perceive as rigged or predetermined. Yet, experts argue that the tide can be turned. Strengthening meritocracy requires deliberate reform, not rhetoric. Transparent digital recruitment platforms, independently supervised examinations, enforceable sanctions for recruitment breaches, and clear performance metrics are critical starting points. In the political space, electoral reforms that reduce the influence of money, strengthen internal party democracy, and encourage issue-based campaigns are essential to improving leadership quality. Civil society, the media, and the electorate also carry responsibility to interrogate candidates, demand competence, and reject mediocrity at the ballot box. Ultimately, meritocracy is not elitism, it is fairness. It is the assurance that every Nigerian, regardless of background, has a genuine chance to rise based on ability and effort. Without it, institutions weaken, leadership falters, and national ambition remains unrealized. For Nigeria to compete globally, govern effectively, and harness its vast human capital, merit must no longer be optional. It must become the standard. In recruitment, in elections, and in every field where decisions shape the nation's future. Imo State unfolds like a living poem, a tapestry of memory, aspiration, and transformation. Here, history is not settled in the past, but continues to move forward, carried in the footsteps of Imolites, whose resolve and optimism animate every corner of the land. The people and their spirit Imolites are renewed for their courage, enterprise, and intellect. From the bustling avenues of Owerri to the rolling hills of Idato, both the young and the old carry a quiet, steadfast conviction. Education is not just a means to an end, but a calling. Their ambition lives in the classrooms, in labs, in markets, and in the global Imo diaspora. Imo's cultural heartbeat is rhythmic and rich. High life melodies mingle with gospel harmonies and modern beats, each song echoing ancestral memory and youthful vigor. Traditional dances carry stories of community, origin, and resilience, even as innovation blossoms, rooted in respect for heritage. Infrastructure and roads. Under Governor Hope Uzodinma, Imo has undergone what many describe as a road revolution. The administration claims to have delivered over 120 quality roads within 5 years. Notable among them are the dualized Owerri Olo and Owerri Okigwe roads. The Mbidi Oguta Road and 18-kilometer dual carriageway was commissioned in early 2025, aiming to boost economic activities in Uru West and Oguta LGAs, especially by connecting to the Orashi Energy Free Trade Zone. Other signature infrastructure includes the Azamta flyover to decongest traffic and the Emmanuel Iwanyam International Conference Center, which has been built to world-class standards. Governor Uzodinma has also stated that these infrastructure investments are not just for mobility, but are economic corridors intended to stimulate trade, reduce travel time, and integrate Imo's communities more closely. Under human capital development, health and education, and on health, the Governor Uzodinma administration reports a comprehensive revamp. Renovation of 305 health centers, purportedly one in each electoral ward. Establishment of 55 new primary health centers announced in 2025 to expand access, particularly in rural areas. Construction of 3 new general hospitals at Ohaji, Oguta, and Omuma. Revitalization of the Imo State University Teaching Hospital and the Specialist Hospital, plus re-accreditation of nursing and midwifery schools. Creation of a state health insurance scheme known as Imo Health Insurance, which has reportedly covered more than 66,000 residents. Deployment of mobile clinics to reach rural and underdeserved communities. In education, Governor Uzodinma has significantly expanded tertiary education. What was once one functioning public university has grown to 3, along with a polytechnic and a college of education. He has also prioritized youth empowerment and governance that are strong signals of financial reforms. According to some reports, Uzodinma has focused heavily on capital spending, budgeting major parts of the state resources towards infrastructure and development. Then, Imo under Emeka Ihedioha, renewal and vision. While much of the recent narrative focuses on Governor Uzodinma, it is important to acknowledge the contributions of his predecessor, Chief Emeka Ihedioha. Through his rebelled Imo agenda, Chief Ihedioha prioritized environmental renewal. There were efforts to restore drainage, improve waste management, plant community trees, and reintroduce refuse compactor vehicles. He also restructured state finances, including implementing a treasury single account for greater financial discipline and automating revenue collection to improve the state's internally generated revenue. In agriculture, Chief Ihedioha launched initiative called Rice Revolution to boost rice production, turn rural youths into farmers, and partner with the private sector for food security. For youth and sports, Chief Ihedioha's government reportedly worked on sports infrastructure across the 27 local government areas, envisioning healthy, active youth participation in sports. What truly defines Imo is its resilience. Where decay once prevailed, renewal now pauses. Where neglect reigned, leadership dares to imagine. The story of Imo is not only about roads and hospitals, it is about a people who refuse to accept stagnation, who carry their heritage with dignity, and who dare to dream of a better tomorrow. As night falls over palm-lined hills and Owerri streets, hum with life, Imo is not just a place, it is a promise built in classrooms, clinics, markets, and fields. In its people lies its greatest wealth, and in its bold, forward-looking dreams, its greatest power.
Love versus money in Nigeria. What do people think? Is love really enough, or does money always play a role in relationship in Nigeria? We went out to find out.
Of course, yeah. Love can survive without money. It depends on the partner. When both of you are in love, you believe in future, that tomorrow will be better than today. So with the love, with togetherness, you can make it. You grow your family, you grow your love, then money can now come in. But you can see a family where there is money. When you enter there, the money might vanish away and the love will also disappear. But once you have that genuine love will be there, then the money will also be there too. Like myself, I married an average man. He's not wealthy, but they were living together happily, surviving the Nigeria harsh economy. So that's why I said that, yeah, with the current situation in Nigeria, love can still exist without money.
Currently in Nigeria, I'm not sure. It depends. If the two partners are both financially okay, it can. But if it have to do with two broke people, I'm not sure. If I'm broke, I cannot marry a broke guy. I can't think about marriage. So that's it. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I think love can survive without money. Because love can be exchanged with materials. It's not just about money. And it can be exchanged, it can be shared with value. When you offer value, you are not just offering money, you are also offering hope and any other things that comes with it. It's not just about money, but money helps in spicing it up though.
Well, it's a very difficult thing, a very difficult situation if you put it like that, because at times money is what keeps things stable in a house between two people. If there is no money, a lot of problems comes up. A lot of financial issues can cause relationship problems, can cause arguments between the two individuals. So it's not that it cannot happen, but it's very difficult. But it's possible because at times partners can be very supportive of each other and help out no matter the situation that arises. So it just depends on individuals, how they behave and their own traits towards their partner. At times when difficulty arises, that's what will determine what will happen.
Of course, it can survive. Love is something that is so mutual and is emotional. So even without money, if you love someone, you can work hard with the person so that the money will come. You get, like as a lady now, if you meet a man that doesn't have money or a man that has money, as a lady you are supposed to be investing in yourself too, so that even if the guy does not have, you'll be supportive to the person, to the guy that is with you. So love can eventually survive without money. As far as you are hardworking and you have ambitions, I can go with you because I know that once you are working and working, one day it will click and everything will be fine.
Human beings need money to survive. It's not even about love. Every day you live, you must sustain your physical body. So as a human being, for you to live, you need money. Then love is an expression of our living reality. So as long as human beings require money to live and survive, it's already obvious that whatever relationship you are in, you will require money to survive.
After God is money now. Because without money, there will be no love. Apart from God's love and God himself. Every other thing without money is just fake. Absolutely.
Yes, because there's true love, shall. There's a guy who love a guy without his money. For me, I can stay. As far as the love is good without money, I can stay with it. But if the girl love me without my money, it's good, shall.
No, you cannot, because nobody feel love you if you not get money now. That is it. Even you would ask me question, I know say you not feel love me if I not get money. That is it now.
Of course, it's possible. Of course, it is. It is possible. Only when we love genuinely. Just like Christmas. The reason why we are celebrating Christmas, that is Jesus Christ. There is no love that is greater than the one that he has shown. His love is not because of money. And he gave us that example. If we can follow his footsteps, it is very, very possible. Love is not money, but sharing.
For me, everything depends on the understanding we share. Love can literally survive between the man or the woman or between the country. Like, everything depends on how we understand it, you understand? So that is the same. But most especially for me, the money is important. Because there are some certain things that money is being used for in the relationship. So that's the thing.
What else? Okay, I don't understand the question. Love will survive in Nigeria. As in, love can survive in Nigeria without money. Even money will not even survive in this Nigeria. Talk more of love. It's better we find love outside the country. That's what I'm saying.
From the streets of Lagos to towns across Nigeria, opinions are split. So what do you think? Can love really survive without money? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Mesoma Igwago, Aneke TV.
Good morning, 042. Thank you for joining us today here on Sunrise. It's indeed to Sunrise, where every sunrise begins with delightfulness and bringing you today's daily dose of cheer. I'm Deborah Wakaba, coming to you live from our studio here in Vibrant and Nogo.
And good morning to you, our global audience. I'm Uche Osai. Wherever you are, at home, in your office, or in transit, thank you for letting us into your space this beautiful morning. We're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, and of course, today is 3rd February, which is Tuesday, 2026, and we've got a power-packed morning for you today. Well, we've got our latest news, what's trending, our special story, and of course, that special sunrise to help us start our day.
So, relax. Enjoy the cruise because the sunrise is here.
Yes, and on Sunrise today, we'll be starting things off with our quote of the day with words that are thoughtful, words that are inspiring, and words that offer insight in whatever we do to keep us well-focused, stay motivated, and well-driven.
Then, it's straight into the day's top headline. All the key news update that you need to remain informed will be shared, hot, debated, and tasty.
Yes, and right after that, We'll be giving you our full weather forecast for today, covering cities across the southeast and beyond, so you'd know what to expect before stepping out. And if you've stepped out already, it is to keep you throughout the rest of the day.
And later, we'll wrap things up by bringing you a business news update and the man of many parts, the sports oracle, the commissioner of enjoyment, the mental mechanic himself.
Yes, all right. Now let's move over to our morning show inspiration segment. Today's morning show inspiration segment is coming from Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, and in his quote he says, "There is plenty of room at the top because very few people care to travel beyond the average route." I'm going to take that quote again, coming from Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, that says, "There is plenty of room at the top because very few people care to travel beyond the average route." Now, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe's quote is a powerful reminder about excellence, ambition, and personal choice. When he says there's plenty of room at the top, he simply means that true success and leadership are not overcrowded, that very few people are willing to push themselves beyond what is comfortable or ordinary. And most people choose the average route, which is doing just enough to get by, avoiding risk, avoiding hard work, and discipline. So in simple terms, what this quote is saying that success is available, but it demands going beyond mediocrity. And also, those who dare to stretch themselves will stand out and rise. Mr. Ocha, I would like to know your own thought on this quote today.
All right. Looking at the great man, the great Zik of Africa, when he speaks, he's a man of impact, wisdom, and usually, he's an eloquent speaker as well. And this period, being so successful in leadership and speaking from the apex, he's letting us know that at the apex, that the room there is quite empty, very vacant, that there's little competition at the top. That what we should be scared is the crowd at the bottom. That when it gets to the upper echelon, there is little or no competition at that point. That what we should concern ourselves is that the competition, which is thinness at the highest level, while everyone is fighting for space at the middle level, that shouldn't concern us. We should every day, be afraid of the bottom crowd, that's where the struggle itself lies. So in trying to bring it home, you now realize that a number of times people speak about their oppressors. When you ask the common man on the street what's happening, he will give you the narrative of being the talakawa, the oppressed, and then you take a look who the number of persons who feel that they are the oppressed in the society. You see that they far outweigh the people they point accusing fingers towards. And take a look at that point where they point their fingers. You see that these are a collective few of individuals, but tracing the point that the great Zik of Africa, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, is making, that there is plenty room at the top because very few people care to travel beyond the average route. And he is encouraging us this morning not to be afraid to do extraordinary things. We should be scared to be average. We should go above and beyond to be beyond average. And at the room for excellent people, there are quite a few. And, in trying to relate it, I look at, for example, get the political class, for example, if you use Nigeria as an example, look at when you get them together from the subnational, the lower tier of the government, the local government, the subnational, and the state assemblies to the National Assembly to the executive arm, the federal government. When you bring them together, these are who are classified as the bourgeoisies, and you see that there's a lot of space. They are just a minute few when you compare them against a 200 million population of Nigerians, and that brings to the point that the great Zik of Africa is making, that there is no competition at that point. There's still a lot of space for anybody who strives to fill in. So this morning, we should take a cue from the great Zik of Africa. Our concern is we should play above mediocrity. We should not be seen to be average. We should, aspire beyond the level where we are. And when we get to the echelon, there is space and there is realization. And at that point, there is no room for, issues, chemicism. Everyone is friends. That's why if you bring it to our political life, you see the politicians we look at, they are all divided by party affiliation. But beyond party affiliation, you see all of them meet, they interact, they laugh. But when they speak when they are paired against each other, they speak with a lot of venom, a lot of, harsh words, a lot of vigor and strength. But at the end of the day, when the light dims, you see them whining and dining together. They are sitting together. They are all friends. And that's what Zeke is telling you, that there is no enmity at the top. Everyone is friend, and that room is so spacious enough for everybody to sit at the table. The issue is that no one would open the door for you. No one would give you the entrance key. You have to struggle. You have to get it by yourself. And once you are able to unlock the door, there is a space at the table for all of us.
All right, thank you very much for that. So in essence, what Nnamdi Azikiwe's quote is also telling us is that the quote is suggesting that greatness requires extra effort. It requires courage and vision. So those who are willing to think differently, work harder, and stay committed despite challenges would find space at the top, because so few people are prepared to make that journey. And also, while we are keeping this quote coming from Nnamdi Azikiwe that says there's plenty of room at the top because very few people care to travel beyond the average route. We should also remember that each new sunrise is a platform, is an opportunity for us to grow. It is where we learn something new or simply stay present in whatever we do. And also, please let us know what this quote means to you. You can drop your thoughts on our social media handles across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, or Aneke TV, or call our phone number 070-3043-7110. And up next is our weather report for today.
Yes, we'll take a look at the weather report across major cities in the southeast today.
All right, so we'll be starting off with Oka. Good morning, Oka. It's warm with scattered clouds and feeling toasty, which is typical tropical start to the day. So expect a high of about 34 degrees and a comfy low of around 22 degrees Celsius later. So think partly cloudy sky with intervals of sunshine. And in Enugu today, it is shaping up hot and dry too. Like Oka, skies will be mostly dry with cloud breaks and loads of sunshine. Temperatures are expected to hover around the low to mid 30 degrees Celsius, so keep that sunscreen handy if you're stepping out early. And in Abakaliki today, to the heat lovers, this one's for you. Abakaliki typically sizzles this time of year with daytime highs, often pushing the mid 30 degrees Celsius, and feel like temperatures even hotter in the midday sun. Skies are predominantly dry with only light chances of brief clouds, so it will be bright and toasty throughout the day. And in Owerri, get ready for sunny, partly cloudy skies with hot temperatures, much like its neighbors. Daytime heat will stick around the 30 degrees Celsius with fairly humid air, which is classic southeast tropical warmth. A light breeze might help cool things down and now and then. And lastly, in Umuahia, the pattern is similar, hot and humid conditions with daytime highs around 33 to 34 degrees Celsius and gentle. Rain is not a major player today, so it's mostly dry with sunshine dominating the skies.
So, wherever you are in the southeast today, stay safe, stay cool, dress light, but do remember that either rain or shine, we've got you covered. And this is your weather report here on Sunrise on Aneke TV. We'll go on a short break and we'll return with news updates.
Security is not just police on patrol. It is safety in homes, schools, markets, and mines. Without it, progress is impossible. Be alert, report danger, support community watch. True security is collective responsibility.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter whose ox is God.
I was there We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on the insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
Rise on Aneke TV. Let's take a look at our major newspapers for today, starting from The Nation, Punch, Vanguard, and The Guardian newspaper.
And joining us for today's analysis is the man of many parts, the sports oracle, mental mechanic, commissioner of plenty enjoyment, and lots more nomenclatures, Mr. Goodhope. It's a pleasure to have you on Sunrise this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. You're still shining brighter and brighter. How is Nigeria treating you?
Well, the same answer we've been answering from day immemorial.
Okay, looking at your your outlook, your shiny forehead, one can say that Nigeria is indeed trying. Nigeria is treating you well indeed.
They are treating me like they would treat other Nigerians, and that's something to talk about or just look into.
Kudos to our country.
Yes,
our country is treating us right. So now think of what we do for the country.
Yes, of course.
And not what the country will do for us.
And we are on that pedestal.
You are on that pedestal.
We are.
You are.
We we are really.
You are on that pedestal.
We are, of course.
Okay, that's wonderful.
All right, now taking a look at our newspapers for today, starting from The Nation, where the headline reads, Federal Government to share costs with state councils. And on the Punch newspaper, the major headline there says, big money, small impact. Governors face fire over 9 trillion naira FAC windfall. And on Vanguard paper, the Vanguard headline says, state governments now to share payment of electricity subsidy, federal government. And on the Guardian paper, the Guardian there says, party politics by court orders halt internal democracy oppositions. And our paper today, starting from the Punch, that says, big money, small impact. And that's the headlines as governors come under heavy criticism over a massive 9 trillion naira FAAC windfall. Despite record allocations shared from the Federation account, many Nigerians say they feel little or no improvement in infrastructure, services, or living standards. Civil society groups are now demanding greater transparency on how the funds were spent. Mr. Ocha, I would like to know your take.
All right. Thank you very much. Looking at these very headlines, these reflects the situation that the nation has been in, given the emergencies they coming into being of this very administration. One thing that one cannot take away from this administration, and they keep saying it, is that there is more fund to the subnational. And when one is seeing this headline, it rightly portrays the point that is being made that there is more allocation to the subnational. So when I take a look and I see about 9 trillion naira shared according to the Federation Allocation Account Committee, you see that the inflow in 2025 alone is become higher when compared to the previous year. And for that reason, I give kudos to this administration. However, despite that point that have been made about the humongous amount that is being shared by the subnational, when we take a look, from the statistics available from the National Bureau of Statistics, we are, inundated with the fact that as of 2025, that the subnational has shared up to or over 7 point something trillions among themselves, when compared to the previous year where we saw the sharing, around 5 point something trillion naira. Then one is, happy that yes, there is more fund available, because these statistics from National Bureau of Statistics, when you take it into account, it replaces, it shows you about 41% increment on what the allocation had been from previous years. Now, leading us to ask critical question: while I've commended the government of the day that there is an increased revenue, accurable to the various federating units. Then the issue is, without just celebrating this homogeneous amount that has surged by 2 trillion naira over the years, there are pertinent questions one needs to ask. And these issues now is that we are seeing, yes, there's more money available to the subnationals, but the requisite development, we are seeing is held in tandem with these high, numbers that we are being told that is being shared from the federation allocation account. The question now becomes no. And if the answer is no, what are the issues that one will use to explain such indices? And you look at a lot of the argument that has propped up is the issue of inflation. When you take into account the value of naira at present, you will begin to see that what you have could be high volumes, shared, but in terms of the commensurate development, you will see that it cannot be in tandem because there's lesser value. When you talk about development, the volumes that the government, I'm speaking to the states now. When you see the let's say 10-kilometer development of roads, what will it usually cost in the past for you to, get or do a 10-kilometer road in the past? You see that the amount is now much, much higher. That's the role of inflation. Again, one takes look at the exchange rate. What is the exchange rate at the moment? You look at 1,300 to 1,400. That's the exchange rate as to compare to previous years. Then you now ask yourself question. Yes, there's huge amounts of money being shared, but this angle for which some analysts or the odd people at the other divide justify the fact that we are not seeing consumerate development at the subnational, given this voluminous amount that is being, shared among the federating units. One may, yes, argue that when you take a look from, let's say, 2015 or 20 to, let's say, look at pre-2015, for example, what was the exchange rate and what was exchange rate post 2015, then coming into the life of this administration 2023, you will see the disparity in the exchange rate. Now the exchange rate, like I did mention, has skyrocketed to 1,300 and something. As to compare to what it was then, you see that there is a wide gap, reflecting why many people, are able to say that we are seeing lesser development. That what they have is just a humongous amount that cannot be translated into meaningful development due to inflation, due to exchange rate. But be that as it may, there are other issues that one may begin to look at when we celebrate that, yes, we are sharing this homogeneous amount among the subnationals, which is quite commendable. That whatever the government have done since the removal of oil subsidy, we are seeing it translated and being, shared among the subnational. Look at the derivations, look at the 13% derivation, and they are currables to state. This is quite commendable. But on the surface, one should dig deeper beyond that. What are the subnational doing? We will see that they have become more accustomed and used to and attached to the monthly allocation, which is why the other day we saw in the news that there is disagreement on the sharing formula. A lot of this says the question we need to ask at this point in time, beyond this amount that is being generated, where are the states plucking it into? Are they plucking it into generating more internally generated revenue, which will be more sustainable than being dependent on allocation? You have a number of states who are not doing anything in terms of redeveloping their state to generate more fund. We'll see, these amounts being plugged into other areas, leading, issues for people to raise questions. And what the citizens, for me, are complicit in this, because we are not asking the right question. If we do ask the right questions, then the governors or the state executives would have to sit up on what they do with this money beyond, paying the usual salaries and other, the recurrent expenditure. What else are they doing with this allocation? We've seen high allocation, and the question is, are we seeing high deliverables? These are the right questions that the citizens should be asking, and I'm quite happy that I'm seeing that some civil liberty organizations are beginning to ask the right questions. We need to hold government to account. Yes, we have been getting money from the federation account, and it's so homogeneous that there has been over 1 point something to 2 trillion naira improvement surge, in what was gotten by 2024 and what was gotten in 2025. And I tell you that this number will continue to increase in 2026. So what are they and what are they doing with this money generated? Where are they plucking it in? We've made excuse for inflation and exchange rate. But beyond that, there should be tangible, there should be deliverables that the people will see that, okay, now that our state is getting higher allocation, how has it impacted the common man on the streets? These are the questions you ask. What are the governments or the subnationals, what are they doing with this fund? These are the questions. And when we get home, what are they doing? Are we looking at servicing projects that are at an exorbitant rate, where you see projects that the cost of procuring such projects are at double digits compared to what it ought to be? These are issues around corruptions that should be checked. Not just that we're having this homogeneous allocation, we need to be able to track them. The governors, are they subject, are they subject to investigated in terms of how they spend these allocations? And these are big issues. We should be able to track how these federal allocations are being spent. Not just that we are getting this money, where are they sending this allocation? What is it used for? And for me, every month we should be able to, get to a point where before you go back to the, sharing table, which happens every month, one should be able to give account of how they spent what they got and what are you generating as a state. When we get to a point where there's nothing to share at the center, how many of the Nigerian states are viable? How many states will be able to sustain themselves beyond the chariot that we're seeing everywhere? You see paintings going on, we see what will seem to be development. But this development, do they get to the roots, to the grassroots? Do they get to the people that matter? How many people can we say at the subnational level that we've been able to elevate and move them out of poverty? These are the indices that we should check. I think every government, when we were growing up, there are projects, where you were able to measure the vision of every government. We had Vision 2000, we had Vision 2010, Vision 2020, and now we're hearing of Vision 2050. But when we go beyond these visions, what are the visions of the subnationals, and how do we measure them to see that, yes, that they are deliverables and drivables from there as to how this impacts the common man on the street? And this should be the question that should be asked at the moment. So beyond all this, yes, we'll celebrate the high numbers, but what is the real value in these numbers? These are the questions that every government should ask. And again, I would be able to charge the federal government that, yes, it is constitutionally the right of the subnationals to come cap in hand for these resources to be shared. But what is the federal government doing from that perspective to oversee what they are doing at the subnational with it? I can remember that at a point, when there were much complaints in 2025, we heard Mr. President tell the state governors that they should wet the grass the more. And what do you mean by wetting the grass the more? It means that there are more complaints, the grass is dry, there is no significant impact on the life of the people, leading the number one citizen of Nigeria to tell them to please water the grass the more. Water the grass the more so that people will feel the impact of your administration, so that people will feel of this humongous amount that is being, distributed monthly. Beyond paying salaries, what are we seeing in terms of development? If you go out in the streets, carry out a survey, ask people, you will see just a handful of only performing governors in Nigeria. So what is the excuse of the remaining subnationals when it comes to development? These are the questions. And, when I started, I did say that the people are culpable because Nigerians, we are so docile, we don't ask questions. When you ask the right questions, then somebody will know that people are watching, people will be able to sit up. Then another issue, when I look at this whole issue, another point in hand is that I look at the state assemblies. What are they doing? What is their function? They were supposed to have oversight as to how the subnational, the state governor, is spending the resources accruable to their state. Are they doing that? Are we seeing real separation of power between the state assemblies and the state government? In a number of places, when you go across the state, you see that the state assembly more often are in the pockets of the executive. And with that, you won't see a legislature that can carry out its oversight functions to see what and how the resources are being shared and being used. A number of times, it's all about who and what you get before anybody will speak. And instances where you see a state assembly, coming out to question, you will see that there's a political undertone to such question, which shouldn't be the case in a climate like Nigeria. This is a developing nation where resources, every penny is meant to count for something. Let that when we get this allocation, let the state governments come and tell us that between the month of January to the end of January, that this is what we received, that this was the recurrent expenditure. And more often, you see that the recurrent expenditure gobs the bulk of the money because the subnationals are no longer creative. We'll always go back in history to when the regions thrived, when you had competition among the regions. You see where every sub-region was doing something for the incremental developmental position of their region. When you look at what the Easterners say, the old Eastern region, they speak to Emayokpara. When you go to far north, you look at the Granite Pyramid, and men are celebrated for it. Awolowo is noted for starting the free education in the West. And these are individuals who were in leadership at this point in time. And now that there's been tremendous development, where we have options, not just only agri, there's the crude, then there are other, developmental strides that were not available to them at that point in time. They were able to achieve what they achieved. And I ask, which of the subnational do you see that has carried out a rail project within their state to connect the various local governments that make up their state? Yes, a lot of subnational governments will be commended for having what you call the bus rapid terminal. But beyond that, do you see any development? Yes, we know that a number of them have gone up and come up to establish what they call the state carriers. But in past, beyond those state carriers, what we are asking is direct impact, direct increase on IGR. I speak to the state railway system, for example. Could and is possible for you to see a collaboration between the subnationals and around developmental issues that are not on the exclusive list of the federal government. And when we look at these things, you see there are many states in Nigeria that are ravaged by insecurity. And you ask, what are they doing with their